Today I'm going to talk you through past student sketchbook for the Mod album cover artwork project. The project starts by looking at the mods themselves, the history of them, the music they listen to, their lifestyle as well, and what inspired them in terms of jazz music and the very sharp suits and tailored clothing of Italian fashion in the 1950s. Student uses appropriate typeface in the presentation of her work as well. It's good to use black and white images because that's what we're going to carry on using throughout the project as we go along. Student also looks at modernism. So we are building upon this. We looked at it in our typography project, so we're still going to be looking at the visual characteristics in modernism. We're also going to be looking at jazz album covers for our visual research. You've also got a couple of additional artists on top of that to look at in the PowerPoint that I sent. But we're keeping within those modernist ideas of flat colours, geometric shapes, black and white imagery, very bold typefaces too. Let me just go back. The main subject matter for your album cover is going to be portrait based. So you're going to be doing some portrait photography. You can use yourself or someone else at home. We're looking for strong black and white photos, at least 10. So if you can, use some strong lighting, use a spotlight or a torch, or get somebody else to help you with the light off their phone as well, because we're going to be developing these in Photoshop. And if you've got strong lighting, that really helps. When you are in college, we're going to explore some handmade techniques. We're going to be using collage and also drawing onto transparent layers. So we're going to use acetate to draw on top of. We're going to put paint on one side and then draw on the other side. Those of you that don't feel confident about drawing a portrait, you needn't worry, because you'll be putting this acetate over the top of your photographs and blocking in the tonal areas with a permanent marker. Okay, so this isn't drawn freehand, but you do use paint freehand on the background of your acetate, and then we place that over the top of modernist inspired collages, just coloured paper as well. We also look at hand colouring your printout. So this is a black and white image that we've printed out onto brown sugar paper, and then the student has developed it using colour pencil. You have colour pencils in your kit that were given to you at the beginning of term. So those are our main hand-generated techniques. And of course you can take those in all sorts of different directions. We then use that image as the main focal point for our designs that we develop in Illustrator. You're going to be asked to come up with 4 different ideas for your album cover before you actually design the final one. Student here has used additional flaps in her sketchbook this time to record the development of her work through screenshots. You can do the same, or you can present them as a Word document booklet like we've done previously. You can see how the student has maintained the same colour palette across the 4 designs. She generally uses the portrait as the main focal point, but it's either left or right hand side aligned. She likes this kind of aged yellow colour in the background, and then she's explored different ways of applying the typography as well, according to the research that she's done, and that's all really well recorded on here. This is her final design, which she evaluates here. You can see that she has mainly been influenced by the sort of Mondrian style, modernist background, but she's combined it with this portrait here. So once you've got your 4 different ideas, you might choose to combine a couple of those to come up with your best idea as well. And these are 2 other versions of that. Okay, so you're always looking for variety and other options when you come up with your design and a final evaluation as well. And you'll be printing this out at an album cover size, which is your 29 by 29 centimetres. And that should take us around about 4 weeks to do, depending on how we get on with online learning. Okay, thank you.